Greetings and welcome to Minor Hockey Mayhem. I'm your host, Joe Branco, here at Culturama. Today on MHM, we have our player profile of the week. We have an interview with former pro hockey player and current USHL scout, Geno Parrish. We have updated team rankings, last week's tournament results, upcoming tournaments, our Minor Hockey Mayhem clip of the week, and our parent tip of the week. Be sure and like and share this video and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So let's get kicked off with episode 3 of Minor Hockey Mayhem. So let's get kicked off with our player profile of the week. This week's player profile is our youngest ever. Finley is a 2011 junior Duck living in Anaheim, California. Finn won our nationwide goal contest a few weeks ago, if you remember, performing a Michigan in an actual game. Remember, he's only 2011. We are so proud to welcome Finley to Minor Hockey Mayhem.
Hi Finn, welcome to the show and thank you for agreeing to answer some questions for us.
Thank you for putting me in your top 10 goals video, and thank you for putting me in this video.
So what do you love most about hockey?
I like to stick handle and score goals, and I like going fast on the ice. The tournaments and camps are really fun. I have been able to see a lot of cool places and stay at nice hotels because of hockey. I mostly like all of the friends I have made while playing hockey.
Okay, so Finn, you won our goal contest by doing a Michigan in a real game at age 8. Look, I know 16-year-old AAA hockey players that can't pull off a Michigan in a game. How did you learn that move?
I watched the NHL game highlights on YouTube all the time and saw Andrei Spesnikov and Philip Forsberg do it, and I thought I could do it in a game. When I was in line for drills at practice, I would practice picking up the puck. Then, in that game, I saw that the defensemen were crowding the front of the net, and that let me go behind the net and scoop the puck up and throw it in. I was really excited to make that goal.
Who is your favorite NHL player and why?
Patrick Kane is my favorite player. The Blackhawks are my favorite team. I think he is the best player in the NHL, and I like the way he plays. I try to play like him. I am originally from Chicago, so I cheer for all Chicago teams.
Okay, what team are you playing for this season?
I play for the Junior Ducks. We have not been able to start our season yet, but I hope we get to start playing soon.
If you were drafted by an NHL team, and I think I know your answer, which team would you hope would pick you the most?
I would want to be picked by the Chicago Blackhawks. I love the Blackhawks, and I would love to be able to play with Kane and Taves. Plus, my family lives in Chicago, and they could watch me play. If I didn't get to play for the Blackhawks, I would like to play for the Hurricanes. I like how they celebrate at the end of games. I think it would be really fun to play for them.
Do you play other sports outside of hockey?
I have played baseball, lacrosse, and jiu-jitsu, but now I only play hockey. I also play basketball with my little brother and my dad. I want to do jiu-jitsu when they reopen or wrestle. Hockey is my favorite sport.
What has been your favorite hockey tournament so far?
My favorite tournament was my first with the Junior Ducks. It was the Labor Day tournament last year, and we won the championship. I really liked all my teammates and my coach. It was a great team. I also played in a holiday tournament in Mammoth, California when I was 6. It was an outdoor tournament, and after our games we could go to a pond and play pond hockey all day. My team won the championship for that tournament too. It was a lot of fun.
What's your favorite meal to eat on game day?
My favorite meal on game day is pizza. Pizza is always my favorite meal. There is a Chicago place right by my house in California.
How did you get interested in playing hockey?
I was watching the Blackhawks play in the 2015 playoffs with my dad, and I thought it looked fun. They had just opened a hockey rink in Carlsbad, and my dad asked me if I would like to go ice skating. We had just moved to California, and we didn't know anyone, so we started to go to the rink whenever they had open skate. Me and my dad would spend all weekend at the rink, and everybody at the rink was so nice to me. After I learned how to skate, I started playing hockey and have not stopped playing since. I've been lucky to have great coaches.
Was there anyone you wanted to say hello or give a shout out to?
I would like to give a shout out to all of my teammates and friends I have made playing hockey. I would also like to give a shout out to my little brother Danny, who is going to be a really good hockey player and has the best celebrations.
Thanks again, Finn, for coming on the show, and best of luck in your season with the Junior Ducks.
Thank you for having me on your show.
If you would like to nominate a youth hockey player to be profiled or interviewed here on Minor Hockey Mayhem, just send your nomination to culturama@yahoo.com with that player's email contact. This week, we are excited to be joined by USHL scout and former professional hockey player, Geno Parrish. Hey, Geno, so thanks for joining the show. You have one of the coolest backgrounds that I've ever seen in hockey, for sure. When I grew up in Minnesota, I think in Bloomington, if I recall, you went to Bloomington Jefferson, Academy of Holy Angels. You know, you played USHL, you walked on at St. Cloud State and played for 4 years at UHL, ECHL. There's too many. I can't remember everything, but you played professional in Europe, Central Hockey League. Anyhow, but I think the most interesting part of it, of everything you've been able to achieve, was the fact that you won the U.S. Pond Hockey Championship. So, and I know we'll get into that in the future, but I just think that's really cool. So anyway, welcome.
Thank you. And me too. I think that was awfully cool. And we've won it more than once, just for the record.
Oh, okay. Nice. Tell me about your approach when it comes to finding and evaluating hockey talent.
I tell you what, observation is number one for me. Clearly, it takes no talent to go to an ice rink and spot the top three players, right? Anybody and their grandmother or grandfather could go out there and be like, "Oh, he's really good. He's really good. He's really good." But those aren't the players that I'm typically looking for when I'm out there, because those are already noticed. Everybody knows those guys. What we're looking for is that underbelly, the kids that are maybe a year or 2 or 3 out. So I look for the most difficult thing to look for, which is a hockey IQ, how you think the game. Because if you can articulate the game at a younger level, as you grow, as your body develops, then that's gonna translate into, oh, you're smarter and you're as big as everybody else now. Before you were smaller. Perfect example for me as a kid, Mikey Riley. I couldn't tell you who he's with right now. It was the Canadians, I believe, or Toronto, but. When he was a freshman in high school, he was probably 5'4". He was just a runt. But this kid, he was so shifty, and he saw the game, his vision, his passing lanes, everything was bang on. The kid was a genius, right? And all of a sudden, 4 years later, he's 6'4", and it's just unfair because he learned the game at a smaller height. So he learned the game when he was this tall. So when you're that tall, you have to learn to survive at a different level. When you're bigger, you can rely on your size and your strength and your speed. But when you're smaller, you have to learn different instincts. You have to learn different innate skills. And he learned those things at an itty bitty level, and then all of a sudden turned into this freaking monstrosity. And, he hasn't quite gotten there yet, but the kid has the skill to be a top 10D in the National Hockey League. It's just a matter of time before he puts 2 and 2 together. It really is.
So let me shift it a little bit. So Minnesota hockey, you're from Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota. But my kid and a lot of other kids and a lot of people make the choice to play AAA hockey, and they kind of look at it comparatively. And I'm kind of curious where you land on this as well. So AAA hockey, most of the U.S. plays that at the top level. And how does that compare to Minnesota high school hockey? And if given the choice, what would you recommend and why?
AAA is crap. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No, it's. I'm remarkably biased in this, but at the same time knowledgeable of what's outside of Minnesota. So I've had the luck of working with. You spoke with Dave Fromm last week, and he's a close friend. We work together. We run a bunch of hockey schools, hockey camps together in a company, and so he has taught me a great deal about the Tier 1 and the AAAs, and I've seen them. I've went out and since I am the regional scout for the USHL, I go to certain tournaments, Chicago showcases and whatnot, and I've scrimmaged against Chicago Young Americans, and I've seen the Mission, and I've seen all of these teams. And I think comparatively at a younger level, they have the advantage because they are drawing from a vast pool, and they're taking the elite of the elite, and it costs money. It costs big money. So at the younger levels, you're talking just kids like squirts and peewees and whatnot, I think they have the advantage. But in Minnesota, we also have the advantage of, and I contradict myself a ton here, Joe, so please bear with me. We have the advantage of not having to worry about that. We don't have to travel across the country to try out or drive, an hour and a half a day just to practice. In Minnesota, every rink is 15 minutes from the next rink. They're just all around the Twin Cities area. Right. And then not only do we not have to worry about all of that travel and those tryouts, we have different levels in every association. So I was a B player. our team was so deep at Jefferson Amateur Hockey that I played Squirt A was my only A team I ever made. And then I played Pee Wee B2s and Pee Wee B1, Bantam B2 and Bantam B1. So I was a B player. That's just how deep our association was.
Right.
All it did was make me drive. It made me want to go harder. Now, had I been a AAA player, I don't think that my parents would have continued to pay X amount of dollars to travel to these tryouts year in and year out. But since I was a product of Minnesota, I was able to develop slowly but surely, and then finally when I was 21, I got to 5'9". It took me a while, but so there are benefits to both of them. I love watching the teams in the Chicago Showcase play. Like Maple Grove went in and was second place 2 years ago as a Bantam AA team, and they're lights out. And I watched them absolutely roll over the Mission, and they were a top 3 AAA team in the nation. And this is just Maple Grove. This is not recruiting outside of Maple Grove. It's one town. So there are benefits to both of them. The travel and the exposure of the AAA is a benefit, but it can be a burden on a young man's mind to put that much pressure on him that early. And I sense a little bit of burnout every once in a while. Where in Minnesota, it's just like, yeah, we do what we do, man.
We'll talk directly to youth hockey players or parents if you want, but youth hockey players who want to play higher level, whatever that is, if it's NHL or anything, or USHL, wherever they want to go in life, what would you say?
Your heart is your strongest muscle in your body. Like if you don't have the passion, if you don't have the love for the game, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, your days are numbered. That's really it. I've seen dozens and dozens of immensely talented hockey players at a youth level, the best of the best, and not touch the ice after high school and just hardly play in high school. You can tell when they don't have the heart and they just have the skill, or you can tell they have the skill and mom or dad are just like, you're really good at this, keep going. You're really good at this, keep going. You're really good at this. And they're just doing that to appease their parents. Your heart and your desire and your passion are what are going to take you anywhere in life. And that's the most noticeable thing for me. Like when you're celebrating with your teammates, your teammates scoring is just as important as you scoring. You winning by 3 goals and not having a point and celebrating is fantastic. You getting a hat trick and losing and celebrating after the game is just no good. Like you have to have a selflessness, you have to have an inner drive, but your heart, soul, and the love of the game. You listen to, like Michael Jordan I'm not even gonna try and quote him, but Michael Jordan years ago is just like, he's like, what's the number one most important thing you had growing up? He's like, I love the game. It's like, that's it. Like they asked him what his most important skill was.
Yeah. And
it wasn't shooting, dribbling, running, anything. It had nothing to do with athleticism. He just said, I love the game. I love the game more than anybody else. That's what drove me. And so you have to love the game. That's it.
So thank you so much, Geno, for joining us today. Obviously, we'll have you return. Maybe we'll do a 2-for-1 and get you and Dave together. I know you guys are friends. So anyhow, thank you so much. And we'll get you back on soon.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Geno. All right, take care.
Yeah.
Rankings. Let's check out this week's top 10 rankings for each birth year. Here is our Mayhem clip of the week. Welcome to Game Corner. Let's check out some of our game scores and tournament results from last week, including CCM Motown and the CCM Notre Dame Shootout. Here's some upcoming tournaments. We have the Eastern Exposure Cup AAA, October 30th through November 1st. We have the Eastern Exposure American Cup, also October 30th through November 1st. And we have the CCM Top Chitter Challenge in Green Bay, Wisconsin, November 6th through 8th. All right, it's time for the hockey parent tip of the day. Development is more important than winning. And look, it's easy to get wrapped up in game results and game scores. I know as a hockey parent, attaching hockey success to the team record and game scores is really second nature. But that's not what hockey is all about as youth players. While I agree, we all support the kids' objective of doing the best they can in competition, we certainly hope for a win in every game. It helps us to remember this one simple truth. Nobody will remember the scores of these games or your team record in the future. Nobody. The lasting impact of every season will be how much the team and each player on the team developed and the fun that they had throughout the season. So I personally have raised 2 hockey players' sons through every youth playing age and level, and I cannot remember the score of any games. And this comes from somebody that watches a lot of games and cares about scores, but I can't remember any tournament they played in or any tournament we even won. But what I do remember is the families and friends that we made and the development leaps that my own kids had made during those seasons. So remember, it's not about winning, it's about development. Thank you for watching episode 3 of Minor Hockey Mayhem. Be sure and give us a like and leave a comment below and let us know your favorite part of the show. Share with all of your hockey fans looking for their weekly minor hockey fix. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor, send us an email. Good luck to all the teams in your games this week, and we'll see you on the ice.